smells so, so good. This is the crisp fall leaves from Walmart. It smells so amazing in here right now. If you already subscribed, welcome back, my darling. And if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe. Subscribe and join a part of the family. And right now, I want to go ahead and say that if you are already part of the Notify gang, go ahead and leave a bell down in the comment section below so that I can heart your comment. And if you have not, click the bell. Click the bell and become a part of the Morgan Shay Notify gang. And now I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know the 2021 uploading schedule for right now. Anyways, we are going to be uploading 5 times a week. From now on, Monday videos will be uploaded at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesdays will be the next uploading day, and we will upload at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Uploading on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll upload Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the only days that we will not be uploading is on Tuesdays and on Sundays, or on Saturdays, excuse me. We will not be uploading on Tuesdays or Saturdays, but the rest of the week we will be uploading, at least for right now. I just got my 28-day analytics, and this is what you guys, this is when you guys are most active on the space. So I want to make sure that when you guys are on here that I have content to provide to you guys. So yeah, be sure that you do subscribe before you leave so that, you know, I can provide you content. I want you to be here. I want you to join a part of the family. And guys, by the way, let's just check analytics real quick so that I can be sure that I'm giving you guys the most accurate number, the most accurate percentage possible, okay? Basically, if you go to your analytics on your YouTube channel, they tell you what days are the best days to upload, you know, how many people are subscribed to your channel, and how many people that watch your videos are subscribed, and how many people that watch your videos don't subscribe. And honey child, subscribers who turned on all notifications for your videos are 21.9%, which is really good. That's okay. I would like it to be much higher. That's why I'm asking you guys to join a part of the Morgan Shay Notify gang. And subscribers who turned on all notifications for your channel and enabled YouTube notifications, 16.2%, and that is my Morgan Shay Notify gang. So here is the part that gets me every 28 days. Watch time from subscribers, not subscribed, 61.5%. 61.5% of you guys come in here, watch the content, might giggle, might hate me, might love me, and then leave. And 38.4% of you are my babies. You're my family. You are part of the Morgan Shay family. You're here. So yeah, if you're part of that 61.5%, boo. Hello?
Hello? I don't think they're here. I don't think they're here. We'll wait for you.
But anyways, I also wanted to talk about another thing that really excited me. So it also like tells you your top, like it's called top geography, and it lets you know like where most of your views come from, which of course is the United States. But we also have some views in the United Kingdom. We have Canada, we have Germany, we have Australia, we have the Netherlands. I'm just like, guys, that makes me so excited. So I want to know where you're from. That is today's question. I'm going to start having one of these in every video. And if you love me, you'll answer the question in the comments. I know you will. So today, one of the highest requests that come across this channel, I don't know if you guys can guess it or not, but is a goddamn story time. If there's ever anything requested on this channel, it's a story time. Anytime I upload anything else, they're like, but yeah, bitch, but could have you done that with the story time? Yeah. I know you were showing us what you got for Christmas, but hey, whore, could you also tell us a story time? Like, for real. I'm almost scared to do anything on this channel if it doesn't involve a story time. Like, you guys are cutthroat as hell. I thought, let's get ready and tell you guys a story time. So brows are already done. I've already cut the brows with concealer. The only thing that hasn't been done on these brows are they have not been set, which, you know, whatever. On the brows, we always use Goof Proof Brow Pencil in shade 3.75. That is my holy grail brow product, and it's what I love. To cut the brow, we use the Kevin Kwan Sensual Skin Enhancer Concealer in shade 3.7, or no, SX01. I'm about to say my brow, my brow pencil color again. And I love this brush right here. This is the L17 by Laura Lee Los Angeles. This fits in my eye just perfectly. I absolutely love it. And then I use this Tom Ford brush right here to just kind of blend it all out. So this story actually involves one of my really, really good friends, Kaale. So shout out to Kaale. Thank you, babe, for letting me use your name and all that good jazz. With the Nudie 2 palette. And I'm gonna dip into the shade Patootie, and I'm gonna put that all throughout the crease. So as most of my shenanigans, this story goes back to the year of 2000. It was either 2009, 2010. I'm pretty sure it was 2010. And like I said, I was hanging out with one of my really good friends, Kaale, and we were going to play bingo. And if you're from around here, then you know, in order to go play bingo, you have to go to Kentucky. So bingo halls aren't allowed here. So we always go to Kentucky. And let me just preface that. They're allowed, you're just not allowed to win money. So like churches and stuff have them, but you can't win like money. Okay. And we're on our way up to Kentucky, and the way bingo works at the bingo hall, or way it used to, I haven't been in probably like 5 years, but the way it used to work is it would start at like 7 o'clock. So by the time when you drive home, it's dark, it's nighttime, and the road back home, basically you drive through Maynardville. If you're from around here, you drive through Maynardville all the way straight on that long highway, all the way to Kentucky, and then you have to drive that all the way back at night. So we go to bingo, we have a really good time, we end up hitting, it's a good night for the both of us, we both hit, and my sister's husband's mom, she had taken me before to this place called The Chicken, which is basically like a little gas station, and you can play bingo there, or play like machines there. So I'm like, hey, you know, since we did good, do you want to stop at The Chicken on the way home and play there a little bit? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So we go, we have a good time there. I did really good there. We leave, and by this point, it's probably 11:30 at night. Like, it's late. It was raining, and she was like, hey, do you want to get a hotel room? And I'm like, sure. So we get a hotel room. Like I said, we did really good that night. Neither one of us had to work the next day. Whatever, we stop and get us a hotel room. Think nothing of it. I do also just want to say that down through there aren't any like super nice hotels, okay? It's like a little bitty side of the road motel. I'll put a picture on the screen of like what type of vibe we're talking here, okay? It was this type of vibe, all outdoor. There was no inside to nothing except for your room. Like if you wanted a candy bar, bitch, you were going outside. If you wanted something to drink, bitch, you're going outside. Like it's all outside, okay? Which at the time, I was so young and stupid, I didn't think anything. Like, I did not think nothing of nothing. I'm going to go ahead and dip into Risque and put that in the crease. Whatever. And I remember it being, like, dirt cheap. I remember it being so super cheap to stay there. And Kaale is like, Morgan, this is, like, really, really cheap to stay here. You know, should we be worried? She says it, not me. I'm thinking nothing. And I'm like, oh, girl, it's going to be fine. You know, we're right off the highway here. If anything happens, surely somebody will see, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Not thinking that, like, people in the rooms next to us could be doing something, you know, bad. And also, this is, like, pre my drug days, too. So, like, I had no idea. I was very, very, very just cut off to the outside world. It would have never crossed my mind. And so we get settled in, whatever, and we end up having a pizza delivered to the hotel room. And we're sitting there eating our pizza. This will always be embedded in my mind. Watching Big Brother. I remember that because we had like the basic TV. And so there was only like so many options to choose from. And we're watching Big Brother. And all of a sudden, like you can hear in the room that's next to us. If you're facing the hotel, that room would have been to the left of us. You can hear in the room to the left of us that people are like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And to our knowledge, nobody was in the room to the right of us. We didn't think anybody was there. I end up going and getting in the shower, and I think like right after I had rinsed like the conditioner out of my hair, I hear Kaale come into the room, and she was like, Morgan, they're doing something next door. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, no, like for real, there's like people like in there, and they're like screaming and arguing, like something's going on. And I was like, well, just stay out of it. Don't open the door. Don't do anything. Just mind your business. The last thing we want to do is if there are like gangsters in paradise going on next door, we don't want to get involved with that shit. What are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? So I just tell her, I'm like, Kaale, just ignore it. Just keep watching Big Brother. I'm about done in the shower. So I get done in the shower, and when I get out of the shower and walk back into the bedroom, Kaale looks like this little pitiful little like she's lost. Like she just looks so pitiful. And I'm like, what? And she was like, do you not hear them? And as I like listen a little closer, there's some arguing going on, and you can hear clearly they're arguing over drugs. And the only thing that we could hear like over and over was like, it was supposed to be this ounces. Like you could hear them say like ounces, and then they were talking about onions. They said something about onions and like money. They were talking about money and all these things. And I'm like, oh dear God, we're in like a trap hotel. Like we're in a trap motel. That's what's happening. And so I'm like, oh God, you know, just knowing that the police is going to be here any minute. Foreshadowing. We hear a knock at our door. And y'all, when I tell you guys that Kaale jumped out of her goddamn skin, Kaale jumped about 6 foot in the air. I'm not even exaggerating. She was terrified. And so I go and look out the peephole, and there is this little old lady standing at my door. And I'm talking like maybe like 5'2", like she was tiny. And so I opened the door, which was stupid. You should never open your door regardless. She could have been the grandmother of the people next door, and this could be like her job. You know what I'm saying? And it was the lady who was staying in the room to the right of us. Remember, we didn't think there was nobody there. Well, there was. It was an elderly couple. And she's like, what is all that racket? And I said, it's not us. It's the room next to us. And she was like, well, I thought when I knocked on the door, I didn't hear anything over here. She said, and think about this, guys. Old people heard this shit from a room. There was a room in between them to the room that's making the noise. And they're like knocking on our door thinking it was us at first. It wasn't. And she's like, well, I'm calling the police. And I'm not going to get in anybody else's business. You know what I'm saying? If she feels like she needs to call the police, that's her business. I'm not calling the police because I don't want to get involved. But I'm not going to tell this, you know, elderly lady what she needs to do. And so she goes and she calls the police, and the police end up showing up. And guys, when the police show up, you would have thought like it was just chaotic. So I remember when they pulled up, because we ended up like opening up our curtain a little bit to watch outside, and you could see them pull up, and the people who were next to us, they had their door, I think they had it like cracked at this point. I don't think they had it all the way open, but I think they had it cracked. And so they had seen when the police pulled up. So these two men walk outside. They're both white guys. They look like they've been through it. They look like they've just been going through it. It was the shittiest little motel. Like the walls were paper thin, the windows were paper thin. You could hear everything. So I can hear their whole conversation they're having with this police officer. And the police officer is basically standing in front of the big like glass window in our room. It's like, we had a complaint, da-da-da, can I come into your room? And one of the guys, he's like, well, do you have a warrant? And he's like, no, I don't have a warrant, but why would I need a warrant? And they're kind of like going back and forth, whatever. About that time, a girl runs out of the freaking motel room, and guys, This is not like just a little road. This is a highway. People are driving like bats out of hell down this highway. This girl runs out of the motel room, and you can clearly see she has something like in the front of her. I couldn't tell if it was like I don't know what it was, whether it was a backpack, a bag, what she had. I'm sure at this point, I'm assuming she has the drugs, basically. So this girl goes and runs out of the motel room, and one of the police officers goes chasing after her. And he's like, the other officer's like saying, 91-7 or what the hell ever, Let me cut the crease and I'll be right back. I'm going to take blushing and I'm going to go ahead and put it on the lid. So like I said, this bitch runs out of the hotel room. You can clearly see that she has something like she's holding in the front of her, like a backpack or something. And we're watching this whole thing now. Like now the shades are completely open. We're watching. The old lady and old man are outside as well, by the way, that were in the room to the right of us. And they're like making sure some shit happens with these people. Like they're pissed. One of the officers chases after her while the other officer is like, 7192 or what the freak ever he says on his little thing. And at this point, the guys are in trouble. Pretty much as soon as she started running, she was caught. It was like the worst chase I've ever seen. And there's drugs in the bag. And so the officer is like, there's drugs in the bag. We know they're yours, da-da-da. And he's like, they're not ours. She must have had them with her, like putting everything off on the girl. Basically getting arrested and all that stuff happens. And me and Carly, we just go about our night, whatever, and are basically about to fall asleep. And then there's a knock at the door. And it's one of the officers, and he's like, yes, the lady next door said that you guys heard the noise as well. And I said, well, yeah. She thought that it was our room making the noise, and obviously not. I was in the shower, and my friend came in there, scared, petrified. And the officer was like, why are you all staying in this, like asking us why we were there and all this stuff. And I was like, telling him like we went and played bingo, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, you all just stay safe, stay in this door, keep it locked, blah, blah, blah. And so I asked, because now I'm scared, I asked, are they all going to jail? And he was like, no. He was like, we don't have any reason to arrest a couple of the people that were in there. We're taking like 2 guys and like 4 girls. I don't even know how many damn people were in that room. So at this point, me and Carly decide, okay, well, we're going home. We're not staying here if these people are going to be here, because now we're scared. We don't know if they think that we called the police, and we were young. We were just scared. So we asked the officer, we're like, well, can you just hang tight for a minute and let us get our stuff? We want to leave. And he was like, yeah, of course. Well, old people pack up and leave because I guess they were scared. I'm not really sure why they left too, but they end up leaving. It was just like pitiful. So we get in our car and we leave. By this point, guys, it's like 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And we're heading back to Knoxville, to Halls, okay? From like New Tazewell, I believe, or somewhere up near Harrogate, okay? And we're petrified. We're scared, okay? We get in the car. We're all shaking up. I'm like, I can't believe this shit, Not to mention, like I said, at bingo, we had hit. We had quite a bit of money on us. And at the chicken, I hit really big. So we had quite a bit of money on us this night, and I was scared. So we end up hitting the road, and we're driving. And at this point, it is piss pouring rain. It is coming down on the highway, because I know going up through there's not many like gas stations once you pass a certain point. So I stop at this gas station, and me and Carly get us a coffee, and we get back on the road. Then, you guys, if you're familiar with Union County, you're going to know exactly where I'm talking about. We come up to the bridge, and this was the old bridge before they redid it going into Union County, okay, where the lake is. We come up to the bridge. We cross over the bridge, hardly get all the way across, and there is a big ass something in the road. We couldn't tell what it was. As soon as I like swerved to hit it, to miss it, my back tire clips it, and we make it maybe another, I don't know, quarter of a mile, and it's like
My tire's flat.
My tire's flat. And we're on a highway, 2 lanes at this point, where people flat fly. They do not give a shit. I finally make it over to the side of the road, get my flashers on, have to call and wake my poor nanny up. At this point, probably 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. Who knows what time it is at this point. My poor nanny, all the stories I have of calling this poor woman in the middle of the night. Jesus, bless her soul. Call my nanny. I'm like, Nanny, this is what happened. And she was like, well, I'm glad you left the motel room. She was really happy that we left that motel. She was like, I didn't want you staying there anyways, but you're grown and blah, 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 blah. She was like, what happened? And I said, well, we just hit something in the road. I'm not sure what we hit, but I made it like, not very far, and my tire is flat. And she was like, okay. She said, well, I'm going to call roadside assistance and I'll call you back. She calls me back and she's like,
Morgan, it's going to be 2 hours before they can get to you.
I'm like, so let me get this straight. We were in a hotel room where we could have, possibly made it out alive. Possibly. But we decided to get on the road with the chance to live. We end up getting a flat tire, and now roadside assistance can't be here for 2 hours because we're in the middle of bumfucked Egypt. Literally. We are in the middle of BFE. In the dictionary, beside BFE, there's a picture of me and Carly in the middle of the goddamn highway in my car. Not to mention, like I said, we had quite a bit of cash on us. Like, more than quite a bit. We had a lot of cash on us. My nanny always had me keep like emergency money for situations like this in the glove box. So there was that cash in there. Oh my God. Ugh, it was just a bad situation. And it was sketchy. It was sketchy. We were 2 little 20-year-olds in the middle of God freaking knows where. I'm going to put a little bit of the NYX glitter glue. So at this point, we're basically just sitting there waiting roadside assistance people to get there. And we have our flashers on. Of course, our headlights are on, everything like that. We're over on the side of the road, so we're not in the middle of the road or anything. While we're sitting there waiting though, guys, like 4 cars stop and ask us for help. The last one was the one where when I seen them, because they pulled up behind us, and when I seen them walking up to the front of the car, I remember looking over at Carly and I said, this one don't look good. And I just remember like looking at Carly in the eyes and thinking to myself, like, this is probably the most scared human being I've ever seen in my life. Like, she looked terrified. And it's this guy, and he just looked so sketchy. He was an older white man, and just the way that he carried himself, like as he was walking up to my car, is what scared me. It wasn't because he was white. It wasn't because he was old. It wasn't because it was dark. It was because of the way that he carried himself. He carried himself in a way that was like scary. Straight up. He looked very, very scary and intimidating. And we were 2 19, 20-year-old girls in a car by ourselves, vulnerable. We have no way to drive away. Our tire is completely flat. We were in a very vulnerable spot. So he comes up to my window and knocks on my window. And so I crack it a little bit because Nanny had told me, do not roll your window down all the way for nobody, no matter what. And I said, yes, ma'am. So he taps on my window. I roll it down just a hair. And he's like, what's going on here? And I said, we have a flat tire. We're waiting on roadside assistance. He said, pop your trunk. I said, no, thank you, sir. I'm waiting on roadside assistance. He says, pop your goddamn trunk. And I said, no, thank you. I'm waiting on roadside. And at this point, I start getting like irritated. I'm like, no, thank you. I'm waiting on roadside assistance. And I call my nanny. I'm like, hey, nanny, there's a man here asking me to pop my trunk. And she was like, put me on speakerphone. And I was like thinking, do I put her on speakerphone? Because if she pisses this man off, he's going to kill us. And we're going to be buried in the middle of these woods. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, dun, da, 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 here comes AAA. I'm like,
Thank you, Lord. Lord, thank you, Jesus.
and I'm like, thank you, sir, but there's roadside assistance. Have a nice night. And he's like, ugh, like makes a noise like that and walks away. Me and Carly look at each other and I literally say, thank God. We get back on the road. He helps us out. Shout out to AAA. You're the real one. Really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and put this glitter right here. This little baby right here. It's a Color Pop glitter. And I'm going to put it on my lid. We get on the road. We get back to my apartment that I was renting at the time with one of my really horrible roommates. And we crash and go to bed. And I remember the next morning, which honestly, I don't even think it was morning anymore. I'm pretty sure it was like late afternoon by the time we woke up. I remember Carly slept with me that night and we wake up the next morning and I remember just laying there staring at the wall for a minute, but thinking like, thank God. Thank God that I'm at home in my bed. Thank God that we made it out of that shit alive. And I roll over and I look at Carly and she's like basically laying there staring at the ceiling. I was like,
Were you just thanking God? And she said, yes, bitch. And I said, me too.
that's why I say all the time, you know, I've been through so much and I haven't even began to tell you guys all of it. Like there's so much more that you guys just don't even know. And while my stories, you guys say, are so entertaining and you guys love them, which I love to hear, I also want you guys to keep in mind that while they may be very entertaining, in the moment and when these things were happening, it was terrifying. It was so scary sometimes, and a lot of times I was very stupid and made the wrong choice. And you know, this isn't a Life is Strange video game. This is my life. And some of those choices led into things that I had to pay for a very, very long time. And I just want you guys to keep that in mind, especially for those of you guys who are still young. Just keep that in mind. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and speed through the rest of the tutorial and I'll be back in the end. here is the finished look. I absolutely love it. I'm vibing with it very, very much. I hope you guys did enjoy this story time / get ready with me. I am feeling this look very much. Be sure that you do follow me on social media. It's all linked down below. As always, it's always in the description box. And you will see a TikTok with this look right here that was actually done in the process of this video. So be sure that you do click the link down below. Follow me on TikTok at morganshay33 and all other social media platforms. If it's linked below, your girl's active on it. Please do be sure that you do subscribe before you leave as well for all content. And again, I will have my new uploading schedule on the screen right now for your convenience so you know. But be sure that you do have your bell cut on so that you are a part of the Morgan Shay Notify gang, period. But yeah, you guys, I love you all so very, very much. It means the world to me that you're here. I'm so excited for what 2021 has in offer and in store for this channel. I feel like we're gonna go big places, and that just makes me excited. It makes me happy. It makes me all the things, and I wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. This would not be nothing without you guys, and I just want you guys to know that I will never ever take you guys for granted. I thank you guys daily, like literally in my heart. I thank you. But yeah, you all, until next time, bye babe.